Right now, on this planet, there are 8 billion human beings alive. 8 billion unique faces, 8 billion unique voices, 8 billion unique stories. And in the entire history of our species, every human who ever drew breath, that number reaches more than 100 billion. More than 100 billion lives, 100 billion heartbeats, 100 billion people who looked up at the same stars and asked the same questions. And yet, not one of them, not a single person across all of human history has ever been biologically identical to you. Not your parents, not your children, not even an identical twin. This is not poetry. This is not philosophy. This is molecular biology. Science doesn't just suggest this. Science can now prove it at the molecular level across 4 distinct biological layers. This is the science of why. Inside every single cell of your body, there is a molecule so long that if you unraveled it completely, it would stretch 6 feet. That molecule is your DNA. And inside that DNA, there are 3 billion base pairs. 3 billion individual chemical letters, each one a precise instruction, spelling out the complete biological manual for building and running a human being. To put that in perspective, if you read 1 letter per second without stopping, it would take you 95 years to read your own genome. Now here is where it gets remarkable. 99.9% of those 3 billion letters are identical across every human alive today. The same basic blueprint, the same fundamental design. But that remaining 0.1%, that tiny fraction, represents 3 million individual differences written only in you, found nowhere else in any living person on Earth. 3 million positions in your genome where your biological code says something that no other human genome has ever said. The Human Genome Project, one of the most ambitious scientific undertakings in human history, spent 13 years and $3 billion mapping every single one of those base pairs. What they found confirmed what scientists had long suspected. The American Society of Human Genetics confirmed that every single person on Earth carries genetic variants found nowhere else in recorded human history. The 1000 Genomes Project went further, identifying approximately 146 million unique variant positions across the human population. And today, your entire genome, all 3 billion base pairs, can be sequenced in just 24 hours. Your DNA code exists nowhere else in all of human history. But your DNA is only the beginning. Every time your body makes a new cell, it has to copy your entire DNA, all 3 billion base pairs, with extraordinary precision. And it does this trillions of times throughout your life. And occasionally, in that copying process, something changes. A single chemical letter gets written differently. A tiny segment gets skipped. A new sequence appears that was never there before. These are called de novo mutations. Brand new, never inherited, never seen before. And according to current scientific research, every single human being alive today carries between 50 and 200 of these mutations that are completely absent in both their parents. Let that settle for a moment. Up to 200 genetic changes written only in you, not inherited from your mother, not inherited from your father, appearing freshly in your unique genome for the first time in all of human history. 200 positions in your DNA where your genome says something the universe has literally never encountered before. Scientists can now locate every single one of those mutations, mapped precisely to their exact position in your 3 billion base pair sequence. Research published in Nature has also shown that some regions of human DNA evolve far faster than previously known, meaning new mutations are appearing at an accelerating rate across every generation. Every generation, fresh biological territory is written. New instructions appear, new possibilities emerge. You carry genetic code that is genuinely new to this universe. Not a variation of something that existed before, not a copy of a copy, something original, something that began with you. But mutations are only one layer of your uniqueness. Consider this thought experiment. 2 people, born from the same egg at the same moment, raised in the same home, breathing the same air, identical twins, sharing absolutely identical DNA down to every single base pair. By every traditional measure of genetics, they should be biologically interchangeable. And yet, by middle age, their biology has measurably, significantly diverged. Different disease risks, different immune responses, different brain activation patterns, different cellular aging rates, different responses to the same medications. Same DNA, completely different biological expression. How is this possible? The explanation is epigenetics, and it changes everything we thought we understood about what makes you, you. Epigenetic markers are chemical tags, tiny molecular switches that attach directly to the surface of your DNA. They do not change the underlying genetic sequence at all, but they control which genes get read and which genes get permanently silenced. Think of your DNA as a complete musical score. Every instrument, every note, every possible piece of music is written there. Epigenetics is the conductor, deciding which instruments play, which notes are heard, and which pages of the score are never opened. And here is what makes your epigenome uniquely and irreversibly yours. Every single experience you have in your life leaves a chemical mark on your DNA. Chronic stress, experienced over months or years, attaches permanent epigenetic markers that measurably alter gene expression, sometimes for the rest of your life. Your diet actively changes which genes your body switches on, with some dietary changes producing measurable epigenetic shifts within hours of eating. Your environment, the air you breathe, the water you drink, the toxins you encounter, all leave epigenetic fingerprints on your genome. Your relationships, your emotional experiences, your habits, your sleep patterns, all continuously writing chemical instructions onto the surface of your DNA in combinations and patterns found nowhere else in human history. Research published in Nature Genetics has confirmed that certain epigenetic patterns can be inherited, passed from grandparent to parent to child, meaning the experiences of your ancestors are chemically encoded in your biology today. Your epigenome is the living record of every environment you have ever inhabited, every challenge your body has ever faced, every adaptation your biology has ever made. Same DNA, profoundly different epigenetics. And now, a third layer. Living inside your body right now are tens of trillions of bacteria. Stop for a moment and let that number register. Tens of trillions of living organisms residing in your gut, on your skin, in your lungs, in your mouth. More microbial cells than human cells in your own body. This ecosystem, your microbiome, is as unique as your fingerprint, as individual as your face. No two people on Earth share the same microbiome composition, not strangers who have never met, not siblings raised in the same home, not even identical twins who have shared every meal together. Your microbiome is yours alone. And it is not simply a passenger. It is an active biological operator running systems you have always assumed were entirely your own. Through a direct neural communication pathway called the vagus nerve, your gut bacteria send continuous chemical signals straight to your brain every single moment of every single day. Research published in Cell confirms that your microbiome directly and measurably influences your mood, your anxiety levels, your stress responses, and your long-term mental health outcomes. Your microbiome trains your immune system from birth, teaching it what to attack and what to tolerate. It continues controlling immune responses throughout your entire life. It determines how efficiently your body extracts energy from food, how quickly you feel full, how your metabolism functions. Two people can eat the exact same meal and experience completely different biological responses because their microbiomes process it differently. The bacterial colony living inside you is a living, breathing, constantly evolving biological signature, as individual as any other part of your biology, as unique as your DNA, as personal as your memories. DNA, epigenetics, microbiome, and still one final layer. Inside your skull, protected by bone and surrounded by fluid, there is the most complex object in the known universe, your brain. Inside that brain, there are 86 billion neurons, 86 billion individual nerve cells, each one capable of firing electrical signals thousands of times per second. Each neuron connects to thousands of other neurons through tiny junctions called synapses, forming a network of 100 trillion connections. 100 trillion. There are more synaptic connections in your brain than there are stars in 1,000 Milky Way galaxies. And the precise pattern of those connections, the exact routing of every neural pathway, the specific strength of every synapse, has never, in the entire history of human existence, been replicated. Not once. In more than 100 billion humans, not even close. This is your connectome, the complete wiring diagram of your brain, the physical map of everything you have ever thought, felt, learned, and experienced. And it changes every single day. Every experience you have physically strengthens specific neural pathways. Every skill you practice rewires the regions of your brain dedicated to that skill. Musicians develop measurably different auditory cortex wiring. Athletes develop measurably different motor cortex architecture. Writers develop measurably different language network connectivity. Every memory you form permanently alters the physical architecture of your brain, creating new synaptic connections, strengthening existing ones, pruning others that go unused. Your brain is not fixed. It is not static. It is a living, constantly adapting structure that is different today than it was yesterday. The Human Connectome Project confirmed that no two human brains have ever been wired the same way. 100 trillion synaptic connections, arranged in a pattern that has never existed before in the history of the universe, and will never exist again after you are gone. 4 layers, all unique, all irreplaceable, all yours alone. So let us bring all 4 together. Your DNA, 3 billion base pairs, 3 million individual variations found nowhere else in human history. Between 50 and 200 brand new mutations written for the first time in your genome. Your epigenome, a complete chemical instruction layer shaped by every experience you have ever had. Every stress, every meal, every relationship, every environment. A living record of your life, encoded in molecular marks found in no other person alive or dead. Your microbiome, tens of trillions of organisms in a composition shared by no other person on Earth, influencing your mood, your immunity, your metabolism, your mental health. And your connectome, 100 trillion neural connections wired in a pattern the universe has never produced before, shaped by every thought, every skill, every memory you have ever formed. Science doesn't just suggest that you are one of a kind, science proves it. At the molecular level, at the cellular level, at the neural level. At every measurable biological level, we currently possess the tools to examine. There has never been, and there never will be, another you. Not in 8 billion people alive today, not in more than 100 billion humans across all of human history, not in the countless generations that will follow long after we are gone. You are, at the deepest biological level science can currently measure, genuinely, molecularly, irreversibly, irreplaceable. That is not a motivational phrase. That is a scientific conclusion. If this changed how you see yourself, subscribe to Human Decoded. Every week we go this deep into the science of being human. Which layer surprised you most? Tell us below.